Hi, my name is Diva and welcome back to Ecotourism Bali's podcast member feature where we highlight our members. And right now I'm at Nadi Nature Resort. It's located in Bedugul. And right here with me is Mr. Punit
Hello.
and Bu Aisyah as the owners and co-founders basically of the Nadi Nature Resorts. So how are you guys?
Very good, very well.
Yeah, good, and welcome to Nadi.
Thank you. This is my first time, and
Thank you.
I have to be honest, it was a long trip from Denpasar, but it's worth it because it's
Thank you.
Yeah.
beautiful,
Thank you.
amazing, stunning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so would you guys like to introduce yourself first to the audience?
Sure.
Hi, my name's Aisha Fauzi, and I'm a co-founder of Nadi Nature Resort and Nadi Farm Cafe, and I co-founded the resort and cafe with my husband.
That's right. I'm Puneet Gajwani. I'm also the co-founder.
Okay, so power couple, yeah? Okay. Okay, so would you like to share a little bit about Nadi Nature with us, and why is it important to implement sustainability at your accommodation?
So Nadi Nature Resort comprises of 3 pillars, and so we have the nature resort, we have the farm cafe, which is farm to fork, and we also have the permaculture farm. So each component has to function with the others in order to work properly, and without the 3 components being integrated, we don't have the concept of Nadi Nature Resort. And so what we're trying to do is create a circular economy. And so the way we function is the nature resort is set in a setting where you've got food forests around you, you've got edible plants. Then we harvest that, and we harvest from our farm, which is in the background here as well, and that gets sent to the kitchen along with other produce that we get from the surrounding area. That's turned into farm to fork food, which our guests enjoy. Any food waste from preparation or consumption is then taken back into the farm, and the farm is where a lot of waste management happens, whether it's old building materials that we now reuse as garden beds or pathways or something like that, all the way to chicken coops, and also the organic waste that we have, which gets processed here as well.
Perfect. So that's why you guys got the gold badge, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because it's really impressive, actually. So when you guys were acquiring EcoClimate badge throughout the whole process, from self-assessment to on-site verification, how would you describe your experience?
So the experience has been, it's very thorough, which is what I like, and it forces the applicants to go through the entire process, question by question. So not only does it make you help check what you're doing right, but what you can do better. So that's been a great, and it's easy process as well, you know.
Yeah, it takes 30 minutes, right, to self-assessment?
Yeah, you can say that. But I mean, it does take a little bit more of the time because you really want to evaluate.
Yeah, you really have to go details into that.
That's right. Yeah. You have to think where you're making the impact.
Were you guys there during the self-assessment questions and the on-site verification?
We were both present here. Yeah.
Yeah, for the verification, I think we did, and I think from our perspective, we did do a bit of preparation before the on-site assessment.
Yeah.
And the reason was because we took it seriously, not just as a way to receive an external badge that became acknowledgement for something we'd done, but also as a way to self-reflect and to evaluate the progress of our business, because this is our second, we've just come to the end of our second business year, and this is the 3rd business year. And so I think that's quite a decent amount of time to be able to kind of say what happened when we first started. Has that continued the way we wanted it to? Is it effective? Or is there any improvement we can make? So it was a great opportunity for us to press pause for 2 seconds and say, what can we actually do better? And what have we actually achieved so far? Because I think as business owners, one thing you forget is to pat yourself on the back when things go right.
Ah, that's great. Wait, so Nadi Nature is established when? When did you guys first?
So it was exactly almost 2 years ago. So March 3, 2 years ago.
Wow.
2023 we
2023,
opened.
yeah.
2023.
So we're like a week away from
Oh,
second
really?
anniversary. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really great to hear.
It feels like longer because
Yeah.
obviously the you know the business and what goes on in business
Right.
is always like a big thing. You end up doing about a month's work in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So time can feel like you're cramming a lot more into a short
Oh,
space
I
of time.
see.
But it's fun. Running something sustainable is fun. It brings a lot of meaning to what you're doing.
Okay, I see. So this, so implementing the sustainability has been going on since the very first time.
Even before we came to Bali, we had we were already working on the idea. So me and Aisha used to live in Hong Kong. So since then we had a goal. It's going to be sustainability, and it's going to be based on the farm, and everything else was built around it.
Okay.
So I think how it all started was we met in Hong Kong. We were both working and living in Hong Kong at the time. So I was a lawyer, a corporate lawyer, and Puneet was a Michelin star sommelier. And respectively in our own industries, we saw so much consumption and wasteful consumption, right? And the systems that we were used to and the systems that we were in felt so broken. So I traveled a lot for work. I was an aircraft finance lawyer. That means I was always in airline lounges. I was on business class to places. I was staying in 5-star hotels. Puneet was in Michelin star restaurants. And at every turn, at every corner, at every contact point with hotels and airlines and restaurants, there was just so much waste to provide an experience that was good and satisfactory to the guest.
Yes.
And this is not sustainable. And how long can this last before the world is so broken that we've got nothing left as resources anymore, right?
Right, that's
so
such a
that
good
was something that
realization.
didn't sit right with us. And that's when we started asking the questions. Now, we came to Bali on holiday, stayed in a different form of accommodation, which was actually a permaculture retreat. Within that 1 week, our perception and our perspective on everything changed in terms of what hospitality could be.
Oh, so that's the turning point.
Correct. That was a turning point, and that was 2019. So we then moved during COVID from Hong Kong to Bali, and since we arrived in Bali, we've just been looking at how other eco resorts have done what they've done well, and where we feel that maybe we would like something different. Because I think for me especially, they just felt like there was always this need to choose between comfort and values.
Yes.
But I think actually that's not correct. You should be able to have both.
Yes, the
And
two
it should
can
be
coexist.
Coexist
Yeah.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this is what Ecotourism Bali does really well, because
Yeah.
it's saying that there's a standard, and because we evaluate hotels and cafes
Yes.
or restaurants, we have a standard that you have to also satisfy the guest aspect, but then you also
Correct.
have to satisfy something beyond the guest aspect. So it's not just all about the guest, it's about the environment that the guest also exists
Correct.
in and is catered to, but also the guest is part of that, and without the profitability brought by the revenue from the guest, the rest can't exist.
I see. Wow, that is such a great answer, actually. I like it. Okay, so we do have detailed guidelines, right? So do you guys access it? Okay, you guys have seen it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And sorry, hold on, I forgot.
Sure.
Has it been helpful to you guys? And is there any areas that are still in
Progress?
yeah.
It's definitely helped. Again, like it's reviewing what we have done so far, but also the areas that we can be working on and where we can expand into. For example, rainwater harvesting, or even more sustainable energy sources. So we will be looking into that in the near future. So things like that.
Okay, I see. So there are things that are still need to be improved. Yeah.
Right.
And I think what you'll touch on shortly is I think there's about 4 different broad categories, right? And A, B, C, D, if I'm not mistaken. Or are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 4 components.
Right. Yeah.
Components,
A, B, C, D, and then out of that, there's about 28 different specific questions and criteria
Yep.
that need to be evaluated. So I think for any business, and this was something that was helpful to us, was certain areas or certain components we were stronger in, others we were weaker in. And so just focusing on the ones where you're already doing a good job first, where you're almost like ticking all the boxes and you're getting 100%, and then that gives you the confidence to then tackle where you still have gaps that you want to focus on and you want to achieve something better in the future.
So our strategy has always been to start where it's the easiest and then go into the more difficult things. Waste management is super easy. You just need to collaborate with the companies or organizations that help you with plastic and things like that. And then we can move on to more complex things and more expensive things like solar and rainwater harvesting, like I said. So yeah, that's how it be.
Okay, so in the self-assessment, you scored resource conservation the highest. Congratulations. And could you share an example of how it has helped you in reducing your operational costs?
So majorly it's helped us in relying on conventional energy. So our accommodations, which are luxury tents, they are double layered in the sense that there is vent system right on the top of it, which allows hot air to escape.
Okay.
And when it escapes, it pulls in cool air from the sides. So it's that's how it works. It reduces reliance on using a lot of air conditioner. Although we have air conditioner in each of them, but we hardly use it. Very, very rarely.
The gas as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so in addition to say, having the convection system for the tents, what we've also done is we identified a couple of locations on site where there are springs, natural springs. And what we've then done is we've decided, it was a bit of a risk at the start, but we chose to do that and to see how it would work, and it's been 2 years and thankfully things have gone smoothly. So we take the surface water from the spring, meaning we're not actually drilling in, so it's not like the Balinese sumur, which a lot of hotels have to use as a resource. So we're just taking surface water from the natural springs, which would otherwise go into the rivers anyway, and we're collecting that, and from that is then processed and 6 times filtered before it is then sent to the guest room and sent to our cafe. And so that means that we're not reliant at all on the local water management system, which is beneficial, because I think at the moment with the water resources that Bali has, there's some water resources that are becoming desalinated, so you're not necessarily getting groundwater anymore. So because we have groundwater on site, we've just had to take a different system and put it together to be able to utilize what would otherwise be a wasted resource, and that's worked really well for us because obviously that reduces significantly our water cost, although we still have operational maintenance costs for the pumps and the filters.
So being about the being resourceful, so our toilet in the cafe has translucent glass, so it just allows enough light to be the toilet to be bright enough, but it does not use any conventional sort of energy systems.
So you don't need to turn on the lights when it's still daylight.
That's right. Yeah. So that's one, and then the cafe is open, so you have breeze coming through and you have light coming through. So we rely less on the systems.
Nice. That's one good. What's the word? One good way to reduce.
To reduce that, and to use what nature already is provided.
And I also agree with the water conservation, because the water scarcity that's been happening around Bali, and apparently from what I've heard yesterday, I had a conversation with in the foundation. It turns out not everyone knows about that. So it's really good that you guys do this. Okay. So next question is, what measures have been taken in managing waste production and disposal at Nadi Nature, and how do you measure the success?
So with waste management, I think that was one of our bigger struggles.
Yep.
Even though the easy solution would be to have a waste management system existing in the village that we could easily collaborate with and just plug straight into, I think what is happening in Bali at the moment that a lot of businesses also recognize and have to deal with is there isn't a centralized waste management system. So the village itself will typically handle its own waste management system. So your waste management is only as good as what the village has in place.
Okay.
And for our village, even though there are efforts there, but the final result leaves a lot to be desired, meaning I think there's a level of overwhelm in terms of resources and in terms of maybe funding and infrastructure that's been provided. So what we observed was, rather than overwhelming that system further and contributing to an existing problem and not asking the question of what happens to it after it leaves our premises, we decided to take a more proactive approach. So the first thing that took a while, it took about 6 months, but I think we're now seeing kind of the results of it, was implementing a waste separation system that our staff themselves had to implement. So
Okay.
even in our kitchen of the cafe, for instance, we have a plastic waste bucket or bin and an organic waste bin. And even with plastics, we have, is it a hard plastic? Is it soft plastics? Because the way that is processed and whether it can or can't be recycled all depends on
different,
whether
yeah.
it's separated or not. So that was the first thing. The next thing we did was we aligned with an existing waste management company that are very conscious and are following the guidelines of waste separation. And it's also a business with purpose, because the business is called Joseph's Recycling, and Joseph is actually a 12-year-old child who has 3 full-time employees. And
I
so
think I've heard.
he
Yeah.
does a lot of waste management, and he sells that rubbish, which is valuable, to then raise funds to send poor Indonesian children to school.
Wow.
So, and
That's
he does
really
he
great.
takes a lot of like the bottle tops, and he makes plastic items, like recycled plastic items that then also get sold to contribute to that same fund.
Oh,
So
okay.
by understanding who we could partner with, right? People who already had an organization with purpose that aligned completely with our values.
Yes.
By implementing a system here which helped Joseph, because what Joseph has done is he's given us a big bin where all the stuff that Joseph can receive, we already put into that bin. Now that's reduced the rest of the waste by at least 50%.
50%.
50%.
Impressive.
Joseph only picks waste up from us every 3 to 4 months, and this is despite the fact that we have a cafe that can seat 30 people running 7 days a week, and 4 rooms, not including our own accommodation
and
on
a spa
on
as
site.
well.
And a spa.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And where it actually begins from is we make sure that our suppliers are giving us their products in non-plastic.
Yes.
So Milk Up is a great brand that I'll also mention, who gives us things in glass, and then they collect this glass back, and then they have their own system to reimburse us and things
Oh,
like that.
I see. That's really great.
So it starts from there, and then when it comes here, that's how we handle it.
Okay, but did you guys have to give some training to the staff or
Yes.
like some education, and
Yes.
how did it go?
There's a huge system component at the start where it's not just about training, because if you train people to separate waste,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you don't provide a space for them
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
it, right, with different bins all clearly labeled, they're not going to follow the system.
Yep.
And what we noticed as well is, because we've now developed a paved walkway, and we've
Oh.
now got wheelie bins, it's so much easier for our staff to take from the kitchen to the compost in a wheelie bin all the organic waste. It
Yeah.
makes the system faster, seamless,
Easier.
cleaner. Because I think the point about doing something like waste management in a hotel environment, you always feel that it may disturb the guest. Compost is not easy. Compost is not clean. Compost is not sexy. Compost is smelly, right? And to do it around accommodation for guests where they expect the same as they expect at any 5-star resort.
Yep.
But here, you're doing it around a system where compost is being made, right?
Yes.
You have to be very on it in terms of the vigilance required to make sure that whatever systems you're doing behind the scenes is not coming into the front of your guest
Accommodation.
system.
It should be what we
yeah,
call
yeah.
back of house
Yeah.
and a strong
sorry?
back of house. So like in hospitals, hotels and in cafes and F&B, we have a divide of, which is front of house, which is where the guests are actively, and then you have the back of house. So that's where we manage our, waste and compost and plastic.
Okay, can I visit
Yes?
Yeah,
after
absolutely.
this? Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay, that would have been great. Okay, okay. So the next one, you've mentioned that you collaborated with locals, right?
Yeah.
And the one that you mentioned in Banyuwangi, and so how important is it for Nadi Nature to collaborate with the local suppliers,
Right.
and what concrete steps have been taken to ensure that your accommodations operation supports local suppliers and the surrounding community?
Right. So I'll begin with the motivation. It begins from, again, my when I was working before in the hospitality industry. We used to get ingredients that were flown in from different countries, certain exclusive ones, and I always used to think, why do we need that? Why can't we, have something that's grown locally? So the motivation came from there, and we just started looking around that, we get our strawberries from Bedugal, spices from these mountains, and then not only the things we are relying on here that we grow ourselves, like pumpkin, spinach, and another organization I'll mention is Ashtunkarawe. So those people, that organization supplies us with organic, original Balinese rice.
Yeah.
So we consciously chose these people to work with us and support them as well. The benefit that's been is, yes, you're supporting the local economy, and also anyone coming to Bali wants to taste and feel what Bali offers, the Bali Asli. So that's where it stemmed from.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really nice. I mean, of course, when you start a business in a new area,
Right.
you're gonna have to be able to work with the community as well, so that
Right.
they can support you.
Right.
Yeah.
And another decision that I would like to share is that instead of basing our menu on a cuisine of the world, we thought of calling it Farm Cafe. This allows us the creative freedom to use ingredients from across Bali to cook whatever cuisine we like, whether it's Indonesian, Balinese, or something regional, or Indian, or a little bit of Western touch, but using local ingredients.
Okay, that's really nice.
you.
Is there a difference when you use imported?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, for example, if you focus on, I mean, not to throw shame on any other country or their cuisine, they're all equally delicious and deserve the same respect. Say if you open only Indian food, then you are forced to use spices that are, mostly grown there, or ingredients that are only found there. Say, example, chapatis or rotis, which are Indian flatbread. You need wheat for that. So wheat, Bali doesn't grow that. I will have to then, source it from an importer here, who relies on, fossil fuels and things like that. Yeah.
Is it in the menu?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. We do get questioned, do you have, naan since I'm from India, or chapati? And we're like, sorry, we don't have that. And proudly we don't have that, because we
Okay.
want to showcase what Bali does.
And we've been adaptable. So one of the key principles of our Farm to Fork Cafe is hyper-local. So we try and make sure that most, if not all, of our ingredients are hyper-local. There are some ingredients that there are no substitutes in Bali, so we do have to bring them in. So the tea leaves that we use for the masala chai, for instance, and the green cardamom. Indonesia has white cardamom, but not green cardamom. We've looked everywhere. But in terms of the other spices, as Puneet said, Bedugal Spice Market sources from around Indonesia. So that is what we buy. And even for papadum, for the Indian food, it's sourced from an Indian person in Jakarta who makes it.
Oh.
So we try and keep it as local as possible. In terms of rice, because we do have some Indian dishes on the menu, and that is because these are Puneet's heritage
Yep.
family recipes. For the rice, typically for Indian food, you need basmati rice. But
Okay.
we consciously decided to use the Astunkara way rice, and to be honest, no one has really complained. Actually, no one has ever complained
In fact,
about
they
that.
enjoy it because it's so
Yeah, so it's more the red rice.
Yeah, it's more nutritious. And even in the rooms, we have things like the tea comes from Singapura.
Which is an Indonesian company.
That's
Ah,
right.
okay.
And our other amenities, like to name a few, Sensasia. And,
Yeah. Sensasia is famous, quite
That's right.
famous. Yeah.
And also it's made in Indonesia.
Yeah,
so it's
it's
similar to
in-
the Aesop, which is an international brand. But thankfully we have a brand in Bali
Yeah.
that is of the same quality.
Yeah, that's in Karangasem, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy to find lots of things locally.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. So the last two questions.
Yeah.
So, what has been the most memorable aspect of acquiring EcoClimate badge? Because I see that you have made the physical badge, and it's really cool. And I was told that it was made of brass,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was made in Jogja. Could you share a little bit? Because I don't know, we're happy when we get the news that they made a physical badge of the gold badge, and it's holy moly, that looks really fancy.
Right.
Yeah.
And exclusive and just really cool. So if you guys
So-
can share.
Yeah, I'll begin with this question, the answer of this question. So I will thank the team that they went and found this brass plate. We only shared your design with them. Why we did it, to have it physical, because we wanted to feel that we have achieved this.
Yes.
Proudly so, because we didn't want to be a place that shouts out that we're eco, we're sustainable, and not do anything.
Avoiding greenwashing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. There's so many places like that, and
Yes.
we should call them out. Yeah, I would definitely say that. So that was the motivation behind it. And what was the most memorable part of this was that, again, going through the whole process, reminding us why we did it. And, you know, when you're moving forward, you don't have time to look back what you have done so far. That was the most memorable part, that we could stop, we could look at, okay, we have come so far and we have achieved this much. Yeah.
Okay, because so far this has been an amazing interview,
Thank you.
and I'm just really glad that we did this. Okay,
you.
because
Likewise.
I was really so excited to see the badge.
Thank you.
And
I
it's
think that
placed
the-
at the front, so
Yeah.
people can see.
Add it to the video later. I think for me also the other additional memorable thing for us was we did a reel on our Instagram, Nadi Bali Official,
Yeah.
and just the amount of love and support that we receive from everybody, just congratulating us on that recognition.
Yeah.
I think not just in how people are acknowledging us, but the fact that Ecotourism Bali as an organization, with the initiative of recognizing businesses that are trying to make a difference, I think it goes hand in hand. So that love and support that we receive from around the world is also shared with you guys today.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you for providing that platform. Yeah.
So, last question. This is very important for us.
Okay.
Amazing.
So, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, very recommended,
Right.
how would you recommend it, Ecotourism Bali or EcoClimate Badge, to other hotels or accommodations who haven't done their sustainability?
I would say 100.
Oh, that broke the scale.
it was really to be honest, it's been one of the main highlights of our 2 years in operation, because I think with all the hard work that we've put in to trying to be as sustainable as possible, having an organization that has put in the same amount of effort to creating an assessment system that can give that recognition in a legitimate way
Yes.
is really rewarding, and that makes us feel seen and heard. And in fact, hospitality is all hospitality is only about making every guest feel seen and heard.
That's right.
Right. So in fact, for us, giving all that hospitality and serving others to finally receive a little bit of visibility of being seen and heard ourselves has been really like a huge momentous occasion. And I think it's also reflected in how that love has now been shared with what I said of other people also recognizing that same accomplishment.
Yeah.
So we would highly recommend it. We would recommend it to every business out there.
Especially small businesses, small to medium. They really need this kind of boosting of visibility and
Recognize.
recognition,
yeah.
and also that they're on the right path. Yeah. So
Okay, that's
I'll stick 200 as well.
you guys broke the scale. Okay, so it's basically 200. Yeah.
The same.
Yeah, okay. we can say
Okay.
that, yeah.
So what I get from our interview today is that Nadi Nature Resort believes that comfort and values can coexist. And they are also proof that investing in sustainability in your accommodation might be expensive and hard at first, but when you think about it in the long run, it will definitely help you.
And
Right?
it's
That's
right.
rewarding
And
and
it's
it's also
rewarding.
profitable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You just have to put the investment in. Like anything that matters,
Right.
it's the hard investment at the start that creates the great reward at the end.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I think we're all in the business we're in the people's business. So the founders feel good about doing eco practices, the team as well, and the guests as well. So
Okay, that's
for all of us. Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's almost 3 years, yeah. It's
2
like
years.
Going into the third year.
Going into the
Going
third
into
year.
the third year
Yeah.
next week.
Yes.
That's right.
Is there gonna be any celebration?
Well, that's what we need to learn to do, is to celebrate. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first celebration was receiving your badge.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys wanna promote Nadi Nature Resort
Right.
to the audience, please.
Okay. you
Go
can
ahead.
first.
Yeah, you can follow us on Nadi Bali Official, which is the official Instagram account for our resort, or you can also follow Nadi Farm Cafe which is also on Instagram. If you would like more information about our rooms and our systems, including the permaculture farm, we're at nadibali.com.
And if you're looking to rest, and if you're looking to nourish yourself with delicious food that's locally sourced, please come see us here, and we'll look after you.
Ah, okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Punit and Bu Aisha, for
Thank
the
you,
time,
thank you.
for taking the time to be interviewed by us. It's really an honor, and I am so happy to do this with you. And this place is just so amazing.
Thank you for coming and for your time.
Yeah.
Okay,
and talking to you has been a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you
Okay,
to
thank
listening as
you.
well. Yeah.
Okay, guys, that's it for our podcast member feature today. See you next time.